Alright guys, welcome to the video. Is competing worth it? What's the point in competing? Why do people compete in general? It's like, lately, it's become quite a big thing nowadays for all youngsters to start competing, and I think people are getting into bodybuilding and working out and lifting for the wrong reasons. For instance, people think by competing you're going to get famous. Let's put this out there. There are many people who compete and have better physiques than a lot of the big mainstream kind of people which we see in the media. Yet these people have very little following. I've seen people with phenomenal bodies on YouTube and they only have like 40 subscribers and they've been around for ages. I've seen people on Instagram with only like 200 followers when they are a huge person. Their physique's phenomenal, yet their following is just not there. So if you think you're going to compete to get famous, that ain't going to work unless you really take it far and you go to like a Dorian Yates level or even a Jeff Said level, I guess. But it comes down to where you present yourself on social media if you really want to get famous nowadays. But as well as that, like I said, people come in to compete to show their progression, which I think is an awesome thing to do. If you're coming into competing to show your progression and to just keep on progressing within your shows, within time to time, I think that's an awesome thing to do. But don't think you have to do that to show your progression, because there's many other ways. Progress pictures, YouTube videos, like I said, transformation pictures, and it's just, I feel that nowadays it's almost become a norm for everyone to compete. And people don't compete anymore to win. And this is what I find quite strange, because if I was to ever compete, which I have thought about and I may have considered, do you know what I mean? And I'm kind of considering it at the moment, I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I wouldn't be doing it anytime soon, I'd be doing it when I'm about 20, so 2-3 years time. But I'd be competing to win. I don't understand why that competitive edge is gone. Because when you go into competitions, there should only be one purpose, and that's to do your best and to win that. So obviously two purposes, I guess. But doing your best and coming in first is what you should aim to do in a competition. I don't know whether that's just my competitive mindset or being stubborn or whatever, but I just think that's what the purpose of competing is, because nobody competes to come last, let's be honest. If you guys step on stage and you come last, you'd be a bit disheartened and a bit disappointed. Even if you did bring your best ever package, you'll be a bit disappointed because others placed higher than you. And it's as simple as that. You'll need to go back to the drawing board and improve your physique. So I just feel like nowadays everyone's competing and there's become such a huge pressure to compete in men's physique. Nobody wants to go in bodybuilding, go into the classic bodybuilding. Why? Mainly because there's a lot of steroids involved in going into these categories. But if you guys look into it, look into natural federations. So many people are competing in these types of men's physique by certain federations when they're not tested. I mean, all in all, if you was to go into men's physique because you want to remain natural, there's still a lot of enhanced lifters doing men's physique. So what you want to do mainly is go over to a new federation, because if you're not competing for money, because that's another thing, a lot of people compete to earn money. There's hardly no money in bodybuilding. Even Jason Genova knows that. But no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's no money in bodybuilding, so there's none in men's physique either. So I just don't understand, if people compete for that, you're not going to get there unless you're going to be the very best in the game. And if you're not competing for money, why are you competing in these big federations? Go into a little natural bodybuilding federation, you might actually win that because you stand a better chance of eliminating steroid users and PEDs. So it's just my little view on this, and I think competing can be an awesome thing, can be an awesome experience. I think it can benefit a lot of us, and as YouTube channels, creators, or however you want to put it, because we own our own channels, if we can almost show this journey and show this process and record it and document it, I think it'd be a really good thing to show our channels as well, show our subscribers our journey, and it's just something new to put on the channel instead of the same old day in the life, vlogs, workouts, topic discussions. You know what I mean? You want different things, and that's what YouTube's all about, providing different content, because it can get very repetitive, and this is why I haven't necessarily been putting out 4 or 5 videos a week, and I've only been putting out 3 or so, because I'm still putting out good content, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to think of ways to develop new content and new things, because as I said, as channel creators, we always want something different, but without trying to get too far off topic anyway. competing and competitions are worth it, but it just seems nowadays that like 16-year-olds are coming in just to compete. Because I've got a friend of mine who been lifting for, I'd say, about 6 to 12 months, and he says in another year's time he's going to compete. And I don't understand why, because no disrespect to him, but he won't place anywhere. He won't place high, no way. Because in a year's time, not that much can change, if that makes sense. I mean, a lot can change in a year's time, but not completely transforming your physique if you're doing it the natural way. If you're doing it the natural way, I personally recommend about 5 years of training before you compete. And at the moment, I've had around, I believe I had 6 months of home body weight training kind of thing, and with some weights, because we had some. And then I've been to the gym for over a year now, so I've had 1.5 to 2 years training, probably on the end of 2 years of training. Don't get me wrong though, guys, some of it wasn't really focused, but I've gone from 110 pounds to 150 pounds in 2 years. So whether or not you guys think 150 pounds at 12% body fat is any good, I mean, a 40 pound weight gain I believe is awesome. And considering when I first started I was around 12% roughly, my abs weren't even showing and I was quite skinny, so it kind of says I was probably a bit more than that. And for those thinking you're not 12%, I got my body fat measured the other day in town by a scanner thing, so you know, it's fairly accurate anyway. So 12%, 150, and like I said, if I'm going to compete, I'll compete when I'm at my best. In 2-3 years time, when I put on more muscle mass, when I've shredded down, real nailed my conditioning. Because too many people go into their first competition after their first or second cut, and that's not good, because if you really want to bring that conditioning, you need to understand how to cut, because it's so much bulking and cutting, but doing it right is a completely different thing. Anyone can bulk, put on size, and anyone can cut, lose weight. I mean, realistically, it's not hard. Caloric surplus, caloric deficit. But actually getting the conditioning or the mass right is a whole different ballgame, it's a whole different subject. So, like I said, they come, nowadays, even in proper bodybuilding competitions, Mr. Olympia, you get people coming in watery and bloated or with a GH gut. And these are professionals, they've been doing it near enough their whole life and they're still getting it wrong. So why do you think you can get it right after your second cut or whatever? Do you know what I mean? After your second or third time doing it. You need practice with this thing. And that's just the main thing I'm trying to get across. Competing in itself can be an awesome thing, and I probably will do it in the future. Actually, it's not really a probably, it's a most definitely thing that I will do in the future one day. But it's not the only goal I'm into bodybuilding. Like I said, if that was the only thing I do bodybuilding for, it'd be a bit pointless me doing bodybuilding, because bodybuilding should be about you, okay? It should be about improving your physique, improving your health and fitness, and it can also lead to other things such as being more fit for your family. So if you've got kids and that, you can be more functional. If you've got a wife to impress her, maybe, whatever it may be. But it shouldn't be just about one thing. You should have several goals, but all targeted at the same thing, if that makes sense. So the same journey can lead to several things, and that's what I believe makes it all more worthwhile. Because if you've only got one thing to look forward to, well, it's not really advertising to you, is it? But if you've got 5 things to look forward to, if you complete one journey, that's kind of like, yeah, this is worth it, let's do this. So that's just my view on competing and competing in general. I think it can be an amazing thing, but there's no money in it really. So if you're coming in it for money, you're not really going to get anywhere unless you have a huge following and you go to the tops. Because a lot of things you guys don't actually realise as well is it's a lot of politics in competing, and bodybuilding in general, like the actual bodybuilding categories and Mr. Olympias and that, there's huge politics. But you can make it. Dorian Yates proved this. 6 times Mr. Olympia, came from the shadow and just wiped everyone out. But that's just my views on it, guys. You got to have a strong personality as well, because competing is not just about the physique, even though it should be, but in a lot of federations this isn't the case. Anyway, that's my views on this topic. Please leave yours down below in the comment section, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.